Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing my first thoughts, my first impressions on the latest release from Kayali, and this is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. So I am very excited to share my thoughts on this fragrance. I was so excited about it when I saw it on social media and all of the beautiful marketing that was done for this fragrance. So if you would like to know my thoughts on the latest Kayali fragrance, just keep on watching. Finally got my hands on the latest Kayali fragrance, Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. I picked up a 1.7 fluid ounce bottle. And you guys, this bottle, I was actually going to go with the travel size because I try to stick to that rule. But when it came to this one, I just picked up a full bottle of it. And I mean, this bottle is gorgeous. One of my favorite bottles for sure. It is like an iridescent bottle, so you do see a little bit of like green tones in there, purple tones, pinky tones. It just changes depending on how the light is hitting it. And this fragrance, I am going to put some of like the pictures for the marketing that kind of represented this fragrance, and when I saw it, I was just so excited because there was so many sweet notes listed for this fragrance. I am going to let you guys know the main accords and the notes, and then we will jump right into what I thought about the fragrance. So the main accords are sweet, vanilla, woody, fruity, powdery, aquatic, balsamic, patchouli, and warm spicy. There is so many notes for this fragrance, but the top notes are vanilla, pear, marshmallow, rum, violet leaves, and ylang ylang. Middle notes are bubblegum, jelly bean, jasmine, caramel, and labdanum. And the base notes are sugar, patchouli, vetiver, cashmere wood, tonka, and sandalwood. So first, let's start off with what I expected from this fragrance. I think that's very important before I go into the review. So what I expected was going to be just a very creamy, marshmallowy, candy-like scent. There was bubblegum being shown and whipped cream, and it just sounded like a super duper girly, sweet, gourmand fragrance. That's kind of what I expected from it when I saw all of the marketing, which is absolutely beautiful. So I have not watched not one review on this fragrance. I have been trying to keep myself away from watching anything because I wanted to give my true first opinions, first thoughts on this fragrance without any outside influence. Now, I did read a few on Fragrantica. I just can't help myself when it comes to reading the notes and then kind of just skimming through some of the reviews that are left in Fragrantica. I never really take Fragrantica serious because their opinions are so extreme. Like, you're going to have them either praising this amazing perfume, and when you try it, it is nowhere near what you thought it was going to be, or the ones that they bash, most of the time I end up liking them. So I did see it being compared to La Belle, and I was in shock. When I saw that La Belle was a comparison for this fragrance, I didn't know what to expect. And the reason why I say that is because I have bought La Belle maybe like 3 times. If you watch my channel from the beginning, I have brought it into my collection. I've tried to use it. It didn't work, got rid of it. But then there's something about it that I have always really liked. It's just that it would turn a little unisex and kind of medicinal on my skin. So I did try it multiple times and just couldn't deal with it, so it's not in my collection. So when I saw that it was being compared to La Belle, it made me a little nervous. But then I also saw that it was being compared to Kayali Vanilla 28, which is one of my favorite vanilla fragrances, one of my favorite Kayali fragrances, and that made me excited. So I was kind of back and forth with this fragrance. I am going to share with you guys the first initial things that came to my mind. I did take notes on this fragrance, so let's give it another spray. Okay, this fragrance, first off, I think this fragrance is beautiful. It is not what I was expecting, I will say that. So when I first sprayed it, I was just like, whoa, this is... The first 2 things that came to my mind immediately was a mix of La Belle with Kayali Vanilla 28. There was also a little bit of Deja Vu from their line peeking through for me, but it's a very, very small amount. But I feel like I could pick up those 3 DNAs right away. Like that's the first thing my mind went to. And in the opening of this fragrance is where I get that initial blast of bubblegum. So I do pick up a lot on the bubblegum note, and it's mainly as soon as you spray the fragrance. So as it starts to dry down, it kind of just goes away really quickly. It does not stay a jelly bean, bubblegummy, sweet type of fragrance. That's kind of just what I get in the opening. So in the opening, it's literally like a pink cloud of like bubblegum and sprinkles and jelly beans. That's kind of like the first poof that you get from this fragrance. But then as it starts to dry down, it has so much depth to it. This is not a childish perfume. This is not a juvenile perfume. I know there was a lot of people complaining about sparkling lychee. I did see people complaining about that fragrance, saying that it was very body mist like, that it was very childish, that it was juvenile. If you felt that way about sparkling lychee, you will not feel that way about this one. At least in my opinion, I feel like it is not juvenile at all. There is this beautiful smooth vanilla that is very rich and deep in here, and the pear in here definitely reminds me of La Belle. Now it is definitely a more doable La Belle. It is softer, it is smoother. So if La Belle was a little masculine for you or too harsh medicinal like it was for me, this is such a good option to kind of have that scent DNA, but it's a little sweeter, it's a little more flirty and fun, yet there is this very mysterious sexiness to this fragrance that I was not expecting. I pick up a lot on those woody notes that are in here, and it definitely gives it a sexy depth to it. So I was expecting like something like Moschino Toy 2, or maybe like the bubblegum body mist from Bath and Body Works. I was kind of in my mind thinking that this was going to have that type of scent DNA, but I am telling you, this is grown up sexy with a little bit of sprinkles and sweetness thrown on top. It is a gourmand fragrance, which you guys know I love gourmands, where you smell the gourmand notes, but there's something else. There's this sexiness to it. There is like this depth and just really nice complexity to this fragrance, but yet it is all blended in nice and smoothly. So towards the dry down is where I start kind of getting that similarity to Deja Vu mixed in with like La Belle. So the first opening is La Belle and Vanilla 28, but then as it dries down, I kind of get something that's reminding me of Deja Vu from their line. So I wrote that this fragrance is super feminine, it's sexy, it's sultry, it's sweet, yet a little mysterious. Definitely way, way more grown up than what I expected based on the marketing. So I did write that. Then I wrote, there isn't a super obvious bubblegum note in this, so don't expect Toy 2 from Moschino vibes. I feel like that one's way more bubblegum for sure. This one, you get the bubblegum, but it's kind of just like I said, a little sweetness thrown in there, but you're getting way more in the fragrance. So you definitely get the sweet candy-like smell, but it's blended beautifully into the grown-up sexy vanilla that's going on in this fragrance. So I love the vanilla sugary touch that I get in here, which reminds me of Vanilla 28, but there's also something in here that reminds me of Deja Vu White Flower. This is nicely blended, smooth, and not sharp or cloying. So in this video, I can't really give you longevity thoughts on it yet because I have not fully worn this fragrance. I just wanted to get my initial reactions up because a lot of you guys have been asking for my opinion on this fragrance. So I wanted to make this video kind of like bringing it into my collection, giving you guys my first thoughts on it. And as I wear it, I think I'm going to add this one to my tray at the moment. Even though I will say one quick thought about this one is, for some reason, this one's giving me fall vibes and winter vibes. But I don't really see myself wearing this for summertime, and maybe it's just me, or maybe I do need to wear it and I change my mind. But just first initial reactions, I kind of feel like this is nice. That opening is so good and sweet, and the bubblegum is perfect. I mean, I like this the more that I spray it. I cannot wait to see what it's going to turn into. I don't see this one leaving my collection. I will say I was a little back and forth with it at first when I first started trying it out, but the more that I spray this fragrance, the more I'm loving it. I just feel like it's not summer vibes. I don't know. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this and what you're thinking about it. I know that I put this on to test it out and my husband gave me a compliment. Now, I did have Glossier You on the rest of my body, which is one of his favorite fragrances. So I wasn't too sure if to take the compliment because he smelled this. But when I gave him my arm to smell, he said, yeah, it smells really good. So I'm not sure if he was smelling a mix of Glossier You with this, but I will say that it's super duper feminine. It's definitely sexy. It has a very nice, alluring, like, sexiness to it. There's candy notes in here. It's sweet, but then there's also that label DNA that I cannot deny. I also pick it up. Just from the way that it's drawing down on my skin, I feel like it might be a average projection and sillage type of fragrance. I don't see this like filling up a room. I don't see it being beast mode, but it's so beautiful. It's gorgeous. I feel like with time, it's going to get even sweeter and more sugary. So I'm very, very excited for it. I will be updating you guys on this fragrance. For me right now, I would give it about an 8 out of 10. It's a strong like. I really love it. I love what they did with this. If you were expecting a complete gourmand sweet candy fragrance, I would definitely suggest that you try it out in store or maybe get like a travel size, because it is not, at least to me, it's not what the marketing and the fragrance together don't really match too much to me. I feel like the marketing made it sound a little more airy, light, sweet, smooth, and creamy, and very sweet like candy. But you're definitely getting this deep sexiness, a woodiness in here. It feels very grown, but in a really nice way, not in like a obnoxious weird way. So those are my thoughts on this fragrance, my first initial thoughts. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. If you picked it up, if you tried it, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about it? Or if you have not gotten this fragrance, are you thinking about picking it up? I cannot wait to hear from you in the comments section. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one.